Alright, you're welcome on board once again. So in this class, we're going to be looking at using Flexbox in Tailwind CSS. Okay, so now I'm sure you already have access to the material in the Google Drive. Okay, so now this is the class here. I think it's in the month 7 class now. So right here now you can see the videos. You have access to the videos here. Of course, you already have access, that's why you're watching it now. Okay, so or maybe you are watching from YouTube or wherever, but the document itself now is in this place, same with CSS document now. So you're going to see version 4, CSS version 4 here. Okay, this the project from Frontend Mentor that we built in the version 3. Okay, maybe we're gonna build that again in version 4. Okay, so in case maybe we're doing it now, you can just download it from here, or you go ahead and then download it from Frontend Mentor. Okay, but that aside now, so this is Tailwind CSS. Okay, Flexbox in Tailwind CSS now. When we're talking about Tailwind CSS or Flexbox, sorry, you can just imagine it as a container that holds a bunch of items, and this container is what we call the flex container. And if you've used CSS before, chances are you already know Flexbox. Okay, because we taught Flexbox and grid before, and it's not really different from what you already know in Flexbox. Okay, so this class is just going to be like a kind of recap for you, and then we're going to spring up from there. Okay, so and then for each of those flex container, what they contain are called the flex item. Okay, and it's quite easy to use here in Tailwind CSS. Now in Flexbox, we have two axes now. We have the main axis, which is the horizontal part, and then we have the cross axis, which is the vertical part. Although it depends on the orientation that you are working with, or the flex direction that you are working with. Okay, so if you are working with the default now, the horizontal part is going to be the main axis, while the vertical part is going to be the cross axis. Now then, by the time you switch the direction to be column instead of row, because by default the flex direction is row, now by the time you switch the flex direction to be column, now the main axis is going to be the vertical component, while the cross axis is now going to be the horizontal component. We're going to see that as we keep going. Okay, now to demonstrate all of this now, we just simply follow this document now instead of cracking your head. Now the way it works here is that we're going to create a div. Now first of all, I think in this document I create a bunch. I just set up a new project here, call it Flexbox practice. Okay, so I'm gonna erase some of the default things I have here. Okay, in your default installation, I think you're just gonna have background, foreground, and then in the root. So let me just get rid of all of these stuffs here. I don't know when I put this on, maybe another class. So I'm just gonna get rid of all those things, then leave just the background and foreground in our roots. Okay, so so that you don't get confused when you're working with your own. I don't know what you're seeing in your own. So I'm gonna in this art theme inline, I'm just gonna leave all of those background, color foreground, then that's one there, so that it's as clean as what you have in your own, so that we could be on the same page now. So we just have the background white and then the foreground black or arch here. All right, so just ensure that your project is up, and then we have this here. All right, so now what we're going to do now is to create a div. Okay, so I'm just going to write div. Now mind you, if you're working with if maybe when you write div, now if I click on this first one, now it's going to open and close div for me. Now please, if you are not having this now, just install this plugin. Okay, so I installed this extension. Where is it now? JSS HTML tags. So just install this now, and then restart your VS Code, so that you could have the same thing that I'm having. Okay, for instance, now anything I write there, a now is going to open and close everything like this for me, just the same way I was having it when using HTML. So if you are not having this now, just ensure that you've done that installation. So I'm just going to write div here. So And inside of this div now, I'm gonna have a class name. Yeah, so the class name of flex. So by putting flex here, automatically turns this container into a flex container. You see, I don't need to start creating what a CSS class, calling it display flex and all of those things like we're doing in normal CSS before. Okay, so I just go ahead and then create everything right inside of this place here like this now. So this is now a flex container. Now give it space now, and then I can start defining what Flexbox properties I want to see here. But with this now, this is a flex container, and everything that's going to appear here is going to be the children of this flex container. Okay, now for the sake of demonstrating this Flexbox, I'm just going to give this a background color. I'm just going to give it BG of black. Okay, and then I'm going to give it a height. You know, you could give height now. You could put in a value if you want to put in your own value in Flexbox here or in Tailwind CSS. Now you could put it inside the square bracket like this. Now if you don't want to use the default stuff that come with Tailwind CSS, okay, so you could put in your own value here. So let me just use 500 pixels for the height, and then the width. Now I'm going to use a max width. Let's use max width like this now, so I can use any of the value there now, but again I want to put in my own values, so I'm going to put a square bracket here of like max width 600 pixels, close the square bracket now. So now I have this box here now, but I need to put in some children like this now. If I go over here now, I'm not really seeing anything there yet now. Oh, sorry, now this is supposed to be inside of the stats tag. So I'm gonna cut it out and then put it inside of the stats tag now. So let's go back here. So now I have this box like this now. All right, so that I just want to use it to demonstrate our Flexbox. Okay, so now inside of it now I'm gonna have some children. Now I'm gonna have div. So let's use height of 2. Let's say height of like 24. And then it's not giving me that, sorry. Let me just follow the traditional way of getting things done. So let's say I want a red box here, so I'm gonna give it a class name. So the class name gonna be BG red. Let me use BG red 500. I think I love this shade. Then I'm going to give it a height of 24. Then a width of 24 also. Let's say width of 24. So that gives me that red box there. Okay, that I'm going to work with now. So I'm just going to duplicate this one now and then have other. I want about 4 boxes there. Okay, so this is red. So the next one now is going to be, so I'm going to call this one blue. Now I want to see something now. You know, when I select this one and then I press Ctrl D to also select this one now, once I give red, you know, normally I'm typing in lowercase red, but you see it maintains the capital letter that was here before and the small letter that was here before. That's the result of this extension. There's an extension doing that. Multiple cursor case preserve. This is the extension that is doing that. If not, when I select it now, it's going to make all of them small letter when typing. So take note of that now. So this is red, blue. This one now, I'm going to make this one purple. Okay, and the last but not the least now, I'm going to make it green. Excuse me. All right, so now I could save it now, and then when I go over to here, you see I have red, blue, purple, and green. So by default now the flex direction is in roll. Okay, so this is my main axis and this is my cross axis. Okay, so now I'll go back here now again. So let's switch from here. All right, so now we're going to talk about some of the most popular Flexbox properties that we need to know. Okay, so now on the container, you know, we've enabled flex now. The first one that we're going to look